Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here with my review for Death Note. Since I'm a big fan of the anime and I think the anime series is great, and the movie just recently came out and everybody's talking about it, I figured I'd do a review for it. Now I'm of two minds about this movie. I watched it as an adaptation of the anime, and I watched it as a movie on its own. As an adaptation of the anime, I'd give it a low 2 stars. I think it's a passable film. It's totally different from the anime. It takes some of the characters' names and some of their characteristics, but it ultimately changes them into where they're not those characters anymore like they were in the anime. And it takes pretty much the first season of the show and condenses the ideas of the first season down into like this one quick movie. This movie's way too rushed and fast. The character of Misa, Light's girlfriend in the anime, is like a bubble-headed, bubblegum type girl who just does whatever Light says. She's pretty one-dimensional, really, and stupid. But it works for the show. Her character is a little annoying in the anime, but all in all, her character here is totally different to the point where she's not even recognizable. Here, she is like this chain-smoking cheerleader chick who doesn't even seem like she should be on the cheerleading squad. She's like an outsider-type girl, and she starts becoming power-hungry the more she uses the Death Note, and she tries to actually like overthrow Light and take the Death Note from him. And Light in this movie is like a emo-type, lonely, depressed kid who's not actually that bright like he is in the anime. He's smart, bright, athletic, a good-looking guy, and he pretty much gets away with almost whatever he wants because he can sweet-talk his way out of almost anything. L in this show is the closest. Him and Ryuk in this show, Ryuk's voiced by William Dafoe, is the best thing in the movie. Those two, L and Ryuk, are the closest to the anime, but L's character starts to become different as the movie goes along. Pretty much, in the movie, you get like this Death Note that falls from the sky, and this boy, Light, finds it, and he's this depressed, lonely kid whose mom was killed by like a drunk driver, I believe. And he gets the Death Note. This Shinigami, god of death, shows up that loves to eat apples, voiced by William Dafoe, and he starts telling the boy that if he writes anybody's name down in the Death Note and has their name and their face, he knows what they look like, they will die exactly the way he does it. And when he writes their names down and he visualizes them, they die like these over-the-top Final Destination type ways. It is not the way it is in Death Note, the anime. In the anime, they die more, it's not really bloody and stuff like that. It's usually just a heart attack, or it's a violence cutaway. In the movie, though, it's over the top like Final Destination violence, which does not fit the tone of the anime at all. And the character of Light is this like whiny, ordinary teenager in the movie who just is just in over his head, basically. And halfway through the movie, he doesn't even really want the Death Note anymore. He wants to be done with his shit, but doesn't really know what to do. He's stuck in a rock and a hard place. He's just kind of in over his head. In the anime, the character becomes like more corrupted as he uses it, and he starts to kill innocent people, and then he just goes complete power hungry and wants to be like the god of the universe or whatever. In the anime, after L dies in the anime like after the first season, partway through the second season, I believe, he dies, and the show does become less interesting there. But eventually, Light also dies at the end of the anime. He gets killed by or defeated by L's successors. So it's pretty much full circle in the anime. In the movie here, they pretty much condensed the first season of the show, or took ideas from the first season of the show and condensed them down into one quick movie. This movie's way too rushed. The guy who plays Al in the movie, I don't know the actor's name, but he does a good job because he's the closest to the anime. But every now and then he goes like a little bit too fidgety and over the top. And because he's so close to the anime and other characters are so different, it took me out of the movie because it felt like I was watching two different things here. William Dafoe does a great job with Ryuk, and he even does some good comedy. Like every time Light does something or messes up, Ryuk will show up and he'll be like, "Ah, you suck," that was pretty damn funny, I gotta admit. Pretty much, he starts killing people left and right, bullies at school and shit like that. And L shows up and wants to solve the case of who it is. L's this super smart genius, and pretty much he deduces who Light is like that, like super quick. You can tell the movie's really rushed. Feels like there's probably a lot of cutscenes in this movie, and there'll probably be a better edition on DVD or something. But anyway, and so he figures out who Light is, and he wants to take him down, but then Misa, or Mia, they changed the character's name. In the anime, in the manga and anime, she's called Misa. In the movie, they changed her name to Mia, which is kind of a really weird change. I don't get that or even understand why that was even done. And she starts to get power hungry and wants to overthrow Light, and then Light causes L's like... the person who like watches over him, I guess it'd be like his foster dad or something. He got him from the orphanage, and he causes him to get killed. And L goes on a rampage and wants to just like kill Light, and he starts chasing him. He wants to beat the shit out of him, blow his head off. And here's where it gets really, Light is really different from the anime because he starts screaming like a little bitch, like, oh, you know, he's really whining because he doesn't want L to blow his head off. In the anime, Light is really calm and collected. Here, he's just a stupid outsider boy that's just in over his head and has no idea what the hell he's doing. Like, this is the type of guy that if L doesn't kill him, he'd get killed in some random incidents by crossing the street or something. But anyway. Yeah, and at the end, there's this big Ferris wheel accident, and Mia gets killed, and then you find out that Light had orchestrated the whole thing for her to get killed, and he had, basically, he can control people with the Death Note temporarily, so he wrote in it beforehand, before the accident happened at the Ferris wheel. He made the accident at the end of the movie happen with the Ferris wheel, so Mia would get killed. The movie ends, the climax is at a carnival, and a pretty decent scene, but there's this pop music that feels a little bit out of place, and basically what it is Mia wants to take the Death Note from him, but he has to get rid of her because she's went power hungry or whatever, and he wants to be done with this shit. So he wrote in the Death Note before he went there to meet her at the fair for the Ferris wheel to collapse and her to get killed and him to survive. And he wrote in it beforehand that there would be these people that would find the Death Note and commit murders using the Death Note. So while he was in the hospital, he would become not a suspect. And they were all like pedophiles and child rapists and stuff that he used as guinea pigs, basically, for the experiment. And then after that, he wakes up in the hospital, and you find out that his dad knows that he is the one, and he's covering for him or whatever, and he asks him, basically, you know, what are you? Are you a killer? Are you the better of two evils? Are you the worst? And, you know, he doesn't really answer. And then you get another scene where L figures out what's going on, and he goes to Light's house and figures out that Light has a part of the Death Note hidden in his calculus book. And he takes it out of the calculus book, and he's looking at Light's picture, and you get the idea that he's getting ready to write Light's name down and killing him, and then it skips to back to the hospital, and Ryuk shows up, and he just starts laughing, and not L, but Light looks over there at Ryuk, and he's just kind of laughing like his William Dafoe Green Goblin laugh, like, ha, 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 ha. And he gives the line that's famous from the anime show where he goes, humans are so interesting, and then it just cuts off right there, and it ends. So basically, if this is the only film that they make of Death Note on Netflix, then you could just say that L killed Light by writing his name down and he's dead, and that's it. Or if they get a sequel, they can just say that he didn't write anybody's name down because he didn't want to test it, or something like that. Or you put down a death row inmate's name or something just to test it and see if it worked, and they can just go off with a sequel. The biggest problem with this movie is it's a Death Note adaptation. It's nothing like the anime or the manga, except briefly. Every now and then you get glimpses of the stuff in the anime and the manga, but for the most part, it's its own thing. The character of L and Ryuk are the closest to the anime and the manga, but at the same time, they're really different because L is altered partway through the movie because he goes on a vengeance spree and wants to just blow Light's head off with a gun. And in the anime and the manga, he would never do that. He wants to get stuff done legally. So, you know, it's altered. But as a whole, as an adaptation, I didn't hate it. It's not as bad as Dragon Ball Evolution. There were instances where I was comparing it to the anime in my head, and I did start to hate it. But as a whole, I thought I'd give it a low 2 stars. I thought it was passable. I'll never watch it again. I have no interest in watching it again. But I didn't think it was horrible. It's not like something like Dragon Ball Evolution. When you watch the movie, you can tell there's actual effort by director Adam Wingard in the movie to make something of substantial watch value. I'd give it a low 2 stars. It's passable. Now, if I judge it as a movie as it's on its own, not compare it to the anime or the manga, then it's average. I'd give it 2.5. Not comparing it to the anime, just wiping the anime from my mind and the manga. I'd give it 2.5. It's average, like edgy teen drama horror type movie. It's average. I'd give it 2.5 just for William Dafoe and for some funny stuff from L. It's average. In terms of performances, the guy who plays L is good, but he gets too over the top every now and then. William Dafoe does the best job as Ryuk. He's good. The guy that plays Light, he has some moments of shitty acting, but for the most part, he's passable. The girl that plays Mia, same thing. She's passable. The guy that plays Light's dad, he's good. He does a good job. All in all, as a whole, as an adaptation of the anime and manga, it's not good. It's passable. As a movie on its own, it's average. I'd give it 2.5. In terms of Adam Wingard, I liked You're Next. I liked The Guest. I didn't think it was great, but I liked it. I hated his Blair Witch movie. Death Note's better than that shitty Blair Witch movie he did. As I said, if you're a fan of the anime, would I recommend it? Probably not, unless you're just super curious and you just want to see what it's like. If you've never seen the anime, then I would recommend it for at least one watch to see what you think about it. Personally, not comparing it to the anime, I just thought it was average, just alright. I still would never watch it again. So I'll see you guys again with the next review.